diluc of Mondstadt. Not interested in idle chit-chat. If you have things you want to get done, let me know. Guess we can rest a bit. You should really bring the Knights of Favonius with you next time. I still have a lot to do at the guild. How about you take a rest while I go back? I don't need an umbrella, but you can use one if you need. Rain, if only you could cleanse the corrupt souls of this world. Listen, as long as you stick to your own path, it doesn't matter what Mother Nature throws at you. Some use the wind's whistling to drown out the sound of their crimes. No need for small talk. All that matters is that you were safe last night. Would you like to try the secret menu? Night has fallen. All right, see you next time. I'll make sure you leave safely. The legend of the Dark Knight hero. An interesting rumor. Just say the word if you need anything. For reimbursements, ask Elzer. You have already proven your determination. Well then, it is now time for you to witness my resolve. Visions are a light in the sea of darkness that surrounds those who have lost their way. But for those who have faith, they are little more than badges of conviction. Occasionally I'll work the bar at Angel's Share. The tavern is known for being the center of information in Mondstadt. What? Why do you ask? It's an owl, quietly watching its prey from the darkness, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Flawless. I believe Lisa has the potential to become the most reliable of the knights, if she's willing. Trifling matters can become Jean's greatest enemy. Her unparalleled sense of responsibility is the sole reason why she still hasn't found her true calling. The land of Mondstadt, by the Animo Archon's grace, is bountiful. I see no need for the harvest forecasts of astrologers. Diona's attitude towards me is, how should I put it, rather rigid. I've yet to find the opportunity to speak with her properly. I'm not sure if it's an issue with my family line or... Oh? It's not? She simply despises alcohol? Huh. I never thought I'd come across another bartender like myself in Mondstadt. Grandmaster Varka. While I understand his disposition, I can make no sense of his actions. I've said too much already. I've long since left the Knights of Favonius. Forget I said anything. Ah, yes. I've heard about her. She has her own convictions. Her determination to liberate herself from the shackles of her clan is praiseworthy. But she's joined the Knights of Favonius. You have business to attend to? Huh? Knights of Favonius? I have nothing to say about them. We have different views, is all. It's been a long while since I played chess with anyone but my butler. I just so happened to have a moment. Care to play around? Checkmate. Still, it's been a while since someone tested me this much. Not bad. Be it chess or combat, you always seem to surprise me. Working with you is quite the novelty. So, I look forward to continuing to work with you, partner. The artwork in the manor? It's not mine. It's a collection that belonged to my late father. The darkness that seethes with evil, full of demons that must be vanquished, will take more than a blade to be torn asunder. You want to know what's in my glass? It's grape juice, my drink of choice. I don't like alcohol. It's just... I don't like how it feels in my mouth. Power is necessary if we are to meet our objectives. What lies in wait for us? I rarely stop to think about it. No matter what dares to stand in my way, I must press forward. I've become stronger. Though it is still not enough, I will always face the darkness. For dawn to come, there must be those who dare to pierce the darkness with their light. I used to believe, if I was to stamp out evil, I would have to walk alone in darkness. However, seeing your perseverance, I know I was wrong. Friend, I owe you my thanks. We should prepare while we can, then make a preemptive strike against the enemy. Let's take a moment to rest and plan our next move. Every course of action has its risks. Be careful. Ah, there you are. You appear to be in good spirits. It's not bad. Apologies. That wasn't intended as a slight against this residence. Nor did I mean to upset you. All I meant was, it could take me some time to get accustomed to lodging here. But don't take it the wrong way. A chat of the idle variety? No, it's fine. I don't mind. It's only fair that I set aside some time for you. Unhappy? Nothing of the sort. I'm just thinking, observing, or planning. However, I appreciate your concern. I didn't mean to worry you. How perceptive of you. Yes, I am. Whether it's human avarice lurking in the shadows, or a conspiracy from outside the human world, evildoers are only waiting for us to let our guard down. This is not what you wanted to talk about, is it? I think I need to engage in a little introspection. That's a given. But I will also try to find some conversation topics that align with your interests. Yes, take a sip of this. It's an alcohol-free beverage based on a long-standing family recipe, but I put my own spin on it. The look on your face suggests that was rather to your liking. Well, I'm glad. I tried to adjust the recipe to match your taste, and from the looks of it, I succeeded in doing just that. Now, I have a favor to ask of you. This drink hasn't been named yet. It wouldn't be appropriate to use its original name, since the recipe has been modified. Well, it was made to suit your tastes. It's only fitting that you name it. Or perhaps I should name it after you. I suppose you're right. Well, there's no rush, so take your time. I can always make another glass for you if you forget how it tastes. Anywhere, anytime. Nothing to complain about. If I'm ever needed somewhere, just say the word. Don't hesitate. Never mind. You should get going. A sword is the most fundamental unit of strength, and each soldier is indispensable. A good billet is the key to maintaining a good blade. So, don't be stingy when investing in your smithy. Many factors must be considered when managing an orchard. It's not necessarily easier than combat or chess. Lost time from delayed weed removal can interfere with fruit quality and ultimately affect the taste of the wine. I can assist you if necessary. Strive to become a qualified manager. How are you coping with the battles so far? I can't always check how you're faring in the middle of a fight. Hopefully you're not pushing yourself too hard. If any of our foes give you a hard time, send them my way. I had a phase once where I did exactly what you're doing now, constantly exploring dangerous domains and confronting powerful enemies. But what drove me to do it wasn't any of the rules from the Knights of Favonius handbook. It was my personal convictions. Conviction helps you rise above your wounds and fatigue, and guides you forward into the light of dawn. Sometimes a throwaway comment in a conversation outside of the battle can be the decisive factor in who wins and who loses. So even in the downtime between battles, I intend to stay alert and ready. Leave the intelligence gathering to me. You should rest. Knights of Favonius, always so inefficient. The disaster has greatly affected business. The second floor has fewer customers. You'd be less conspicuous up there. But aren't you a bard? Why not sit front and center? Hey, keep an eye on them. There's something strange about that bard. I'll go ask around. The protectors of Mondstadt. Not going upstairs yet? You both seemed to be in a hurry. What happened? Why have you mobilized so many guards? Oh? How odd. Why would one want to steal something they can't sell off? Would pay better to steal from my sellers. Sorry, off topic. Believe they headed that way. You can put down that bottle you stole from behind the counter. Right. I want answers. It's not about money. You seem too young to be drinking. I just heard about some thieves from the guards. For the record, I like your guts for trying to steal the Holy Lyre de Hamel. Even if you are fools, but we don't often get to see people like you. Hotshot. Oh, so it's you. So, you and the bard are close friends? Well, despite only being a passing traveler, you still offered your help to Mondstadt in its time of need. A shame you joined the Knights. The Knights of Favonius. Inefficient right from beginning to end. And towards the Fatui, weak and conservative. Forget it. I don't feel like talking about it. Just differences in approach is all. I have my own hopes for this city. Now, answers. Why did you steal the Holy Lyre? That's fine. I somehow always end up implicated in their affairs. It depends. I'll make my own judgment. Your reward will range from anywhere between 5 mora and the Holy Lyre. It all depends on your story. What did I just witness? This is confidential information. Why did you let me know? Interesting. Give me some time. I'll organize some contacts. Outlander, as one of the Knights, it seems you're not a suspect. Blonde is the only description on the wanted poster. You should be safe. As for the bard, however, it'd be better if you stayed in the tavern. Okay, let's meet here tonight after the tavern closes. Remember, don't forget our meeting tomorrow night. Not now. It's still early. The tavern closes at midnight. My contact will be on time. Well, first of all, I contacted more than one person. Secondly, she came here as Jean herself, not as the acting Grandmaster. A Jean you would never see, even as an honorary knight. I understand this kind of absurd explanation is hard to believe, but we can ask the bard to play the song again to try and persuade our stubborn command. Wait, what? That's one of the reasons I don't like the Knights of Favonius. What surprises me is that you would believe in Outlander so easily. I already told you not to call me sir. Never mind. We don't often get to work together after all. The number of Fatui that have come to Mondstadt is far from limited. I've already managed to coerce a few reports out of them. Such is the diplomacy between the 7 nations. Outlander, ready to go? The god of Anima? Hasn't been seen for more than 1,000 years. What makes you think that's their intention? Forget it. I don't like having to pry. Here, take this. A disguise to protect your identity. Put it on before you run into the Fatui. Unfortunately, there's still one of Mondstadt's allies. At least that's the facade we're maintaining. Our actions are going to get them stirred up. Better to not implicate yourself on a personal level. Number 8 of the 11 goes by the name Senora. The fact that the Fatui can run amok across the 7 nations like they do is entirely because of the 11. We need to act quickly before she gets wind of what's going on. Bards fight to get on the stage of my tavern. Don't make assumptions. This search reminds me of a feud I once had with the Fatui. 6 months ago, a thief stole treasure from the East Temple of the Four Winds. Now, Although if such a thing existed, it would be very valuable. Among all the relics they managed to dig up, one particular object was very rare. It was a vial which contained the animo god's breath. Anyone with an eye for fine art would like to add this relic to their collection. Once word got out, the Fatui started trying to seek it out as well. They've made tons of counterfeits that can be found everywhere. In response, I just bought every one I could find irrespective of its authenticity. We're still at it now. I've bought more than 2,000 fakes to date, and the Fatui are yet to find the real one. Sure, you can try to find the real one. I'll take what you find, even if they're fake. Once you're done, find me at the winery. I'll trade you a beer for every 20 you find. No, I don't. I had one too when I was a kid. What's so strange about it? It's too early to relax. We're still not done with Storm Terror. Besides, the Fatui could also be planning something. What an honor. Nobody was ever proclaimed persona grata by the Fatui anyway. That's enough, Jean. You knights are subject to too many restrictions. You can't directly confront this so-called diplomatic scum. Personally, I despise them. If I were to choose between eating a cryo-slime alive or joining the Fatui, I'd prefer to be crushed to death by a meteorite. Interesting. It's like filtering wine. The process is refreshing. If the winery was destroyed, it's not something I couldn't eventually fix. But I'd still rather not go through the hassle. If you go east from Starfell Lake, there are mountains south of the beach. If you head to where the cliff juts out, that place is known as Star Snatch Cliff. What do you think, Bard? Meets the requirements, no? Although we may be able to negotiate with Storm Terror, we'll most likely have to fight. Please be ready for it. Some of Dawn Winery's wine is sold at Angel's Share, a local tavern. I work the bar there sometimes. If you ever need to talk to me, feel free to find me there. Otherwise, you might need to make an appointment with my butler. I mostly decided to do it on a whim, though I must say that Bard is quite intriguing. Besides, it's bad for my business if we keep letting Storm Terror do whatever it pleases. Let me be clear, though. I did it for you, not for the Knights. Nothing more? We'll meet at Star Snatch Cliff, then. Everyone is finally here. Huh. In the end, the solution to our problem was as simple as a traveler in a song. I suppose the Knights of Favonius may have played a part in it, too. How's the Holy Lyre? Can it still be played, or does it need to be repaired? No, we should make that Abyss Mage pay first. If we don't fight the evil at its source, then we can't save Dvalin at all. No need. I eradicated one not long ago, in one of the Four Winds temples. If you want to track those monsters down, then I'll seek answers from my contacts. I've got other means for getting the job done. Wait for my word. I'll be sure to let the Abyss Order know that their blatant disregard for Mondstadt will not go unpunished. The Abyss Order. Enemies of the human race. Even the underground networks rarely come across any information on them. With that said, it was a bit of a hassle, but I managed to dig up a few clues. Oh, such a humble god. Is it a blessing or a curse? But we digress. Let's get back to the topic at hand, the common enemy of all mankind. We have tracked the Abyss Mage to the vicinity of the winery. Which means we're going to confront Dvalin? I'm fine with that. Jean is the one who wishes to avoid any direct confrontation. Hey. Nice plan. Worth a shot. Humans aren't without their strengths. Let's go. The Abyss Order must be manipulating them behind the scenes, yet they shouldn't have been able to determine that we would come. They're presumably spreading their forces to halt our plans. Do not underestimate them just because I have beaten one of them before. I'm not boasting. I'm simply saying there is more to the Abyss Order than a few mages. The markings on this seal. If my archaeological knowledge is not mistaken, this appears to be a light actuator. If we retrieve and reintegrate all the parts, we should be able to get it working. What are you waiting for? Go unlock the light actuator. We've come this far. There's no turning back now. We'll just have to deal with them one by one. You shared your secret with me, and I only returned your trust to the same extent. After managing to steer clear of the guards' patrol route, I never anticipated I'd run into you instead. Dark Knight Hero? Sounds awfully derivative to me. Please tell me you didn't come up with that. I do not concern myself with idle chatter. Though, I suppose I may take the idleness of others as a sign that peace prevails. Please stop calling me that. Seriously, it makes me uncomfortable. Pie? It was the Abyss Order. I don't know what the devil they're plotting this time. It seems they're performing some initial reconnaissance. Considering that I've proven myself to be one step ahead of them on countless occasions, their persistence is unusual. I assume so, unless you're aware of any other Dark Knight heroes around these parts. Who would be helping whom is debatable. The Knights are, for the most part, an utterly incompetent bunch. I cannot trust them to take this matter over. That's not my point. I'm not doing this to impress anyone. What's past is past. I would prefer not to discuss it. Well, I hope this conversation has been of service to you. Because I would like to ask for a favor in return. You must keep my identity a secret. Above all, it is crucial that you do not let the Knights of Favonius know I am connected to any of this. They appear to just be small-timers. You should have no trouble dealing with them. I cannot afford delays on account of a few lackeys. I shall have to let you take care of them. Remember, don't tell a soul. I take it you're about to inform me of the war declaration from the Abyss Order. I'm aware of it, though I appreciate you for taking the trouble to come all this way. The Dawn Winery's intelligence network extends beyond commercial matters. I'm open to suggestions. No, that would be playing right into the hands of the Abyss Order. They know full well that we don't exactly see eye to eye. They're using this as a means to force me into making an appearance. If my identity were exposed, all my future activities would be subject to some degree of interference from the Knights. After all, no powerful organization wishes to be outdone by someone from the outside. That would be tantamount to handing this over to the Knights. Had they been worthy of this task to begin with, things would never have escalated to this point. In any case, circumstances are not dire enough to warrant me going into hiding and leaving the Knights to deal with the consequences. There is a way, but for it to work, I need some more information. Specifically, I need to decipher the obscured portions of the Abyss Order's war declaration. It must be a cipher only understood by members of the Abyss Order, used to spread messages within the organization. It's not simply a war declaration, but also a notification to their own. When you take a stand that makes you a hero to one party, you also become a villain to the other. And since I've been the Abyss Order's enemy for so long, they've made me the target around which they can rally their troops and unite their strength. I understand my enemy well, is all. As the saying goes, heroes and villains are two sides of the same coin. Simple. When you don't understand something, you ask. I've already tracked down one of their strongholds. If you're interested, feel free to come along. This is the place. Abandoned ruins like these are precisely the kind of place the Abyss Order likes to camp out. Come on, there's no time to lose. I am no Knight of Favonius. Now start talking. Your plan, what is it? You appear to have misunderstood the situation you're in. Let's see how long it takes for you to crack. Playing dead won't help you. That fire was nowhere near strong enough to... Oh, he seems to have passed out. Hey! You sleep when I say you can sleep! That's it? Well, I doubt you'd be foolish enough to keep anything else hidden. Now that I have the information I need, I must prepare. I would be grateful if you could keep me updated on how the Knights of Favonius respond to this matter. Why are you acting so strange all of a sudden? Yes, about Kaya. I should have known he would see this as the perfect opportunity to get back at me. I shan't get into that now. More importantly, the Knights of Favonius are responding more or less as I had anticipated. All we need to do now is think of a counterplan. That won't work. It will only arouse the Knights' suspicion if I don't show up as they're expecting. That's what Kaya is counting on. Patience. Let me think for a moment. If they intend to monitor me, then so be it. We can use this to create the perfect alibi. If you want to find out, maybe you can do me a small favor first. In Mondstadt, mist flowers are most commonly found in a region just northwest of the winery. If you could gather some for me, I'd be most grateful. I will make other preparations here in the meantime. Ah, you're back. Allow me to introduce the winery's master brewer. So, are you certain the equipment can withstand this level of purity? Long story short, a few days ago, the winery was experimenting with some new flavors. They wanted to see if mist flower can truly add a crisp and refreshing taste. Sure enough, they discovered that the flower's extract is truly potent. No, not potent in terms of attracting customers, but slimes. Slimes need to extract elemental energy to survive. For them, this substance is simply irresistible. So I thought to myself, I wonder how much trouble I could cause now that I know this. Marvelous work. Don't fret about the equipment. I shall have my butler order more immediately. This is what I was talking about. Mist flower extract. Or, for our purposes, elemental bait. Sprinkle a little on the ground over there. Careful, just a small amount. It appears the potency is greater than anticipated. We'd better get rid of them before they wreak havoc on the manor. Let's discuss the plan some more after we've dealt with these slimes. Yes, the plan is... And so, I expect it to all go down without a hitch. I have persevered alone from the start. Now, I alone must face what lies ahead. I am indeed indebted to you. I shall see you at the tavern, as per the plan. Greetings, Mr. Huffman of the Knights of Favonius. To what do I owe the pleasure at this hour? What would you like to drink? Then I must regretfully ask you to come back when you can pay. Apologies, we do not give credit here. You'd better get on with it. I can't wait all evening. One moment. Oh? The matter of your dandelion wine? So this is how the Knights of Favonius conduct themselves in a crisis. The Abyss Order is encroaching on the city gates, and your response is to sit here drinking wine? It's like I've always said, the Knights are not to be trusted. Good. That's him out of the way. I must get going too. I won't have a second to spare if I'm to be back in time. Ah, there you are. Dealing with you will be the easy part. Nothing more than a few hilly churls. No time to chat. I don't know how long those slimes will keep Huffman occupied. Best get back to the tavern. It seems Huffman hasn't yet returned. He made it in time. That is a surprise. Perhaps the Knight's true calling is to be slime exterminators. Who knows? Domestic pest control may turn out to be a more valuable use of your resources. Mr. Huffman, your dandelion wine. You ought to get back after this. Send my regards to the rest of the Knights. I foresaw this eventuality. So, all the guests here tonight, save you two, are my own people from the Dawn Winery. So, you plan to report everything to the Knights of Favonius? I have nothing to prove to you. Sorry, we're closing. Please see yourselves out. It had better be the very last thing. Don't mind him. Thank you for all your help with this matter. This is a token of my gratitude. I'm in the habit of working alone, but I did enjoy having your assistance this time. In the future, if there's anything you ever need, you can come to me for help. Despite my initial reluctance to sponsor a Knights of Favonius event in any way, I, like any other citizen of Mondstadt, owe Jean my gratitude for her hard work. That's glass number 37. I'm keeping count of this bard's alarming pace of progress through my wine. Only the knights drink for free tonight. It seems he didn't get the message. When he sobers up, I will present him with the bill. I'm joking, of course. I highly doubt he could afford it anyway, so I shall spare him the bill. But I must say the sheer volume of alcohol this fellow can put back is just not normal. That was quite the detailed explanation. I didn't know the Cat's Tail's famous mixologist had such an eclectic skill set. I stepped in while you were in the middle of your explanation. I hope I didn't dampen the mood. The Cat's Tail is a player in Mondstadt's alcohol industry. Naturally, you have some collaboration with my winery. I'm here today to discuss a few items of business with Margaret. Never mind, it's nothing urgent. In fact, I think I'm now more interested in this card that you're using to teach them the game. Although I have some degree of experience with Genius Invocation TCG, seeing this particular card is a first for me. Oh? And what sort of a customer was he? Eye patch, you say? Don't worry. Somehow, I don't think he'll be giving you any trouble over it. I don't mind. It's just a card with my image on it. The game has been catching on lately. It's hard to go anywhere without hearing it mentioned. Every now and then, I'll sit down and play a game with the customers in Angel's Share. I was hoping we could play a game, but this issue of someone leaving a character card with my image of the Cat's Tail is very intriguing. It's getting late, and someone has some explaining to do. We'll have to have that duel another time. Good. Then I'll take my leave. Welcome. Have a seat wherever you like. Since arriving in Mondstadt, you have offered invaluable support to its people. This is their way of saying thank you. Passing on messages and deliberating over ceremonial details. Sounds more like your line of work, Kaya. Folks in Mondstadt are on edge with you constantly on the prowl. You're no ordinary sister, that's for sure. The better the wine, the higher the price. Just economics. Easier said than done. I doubt Charles is nimble enough to handle both. What is that supposed to mean? I didn't know you still remembered anything from back then. Dodo King. You seem surprised. Dragon flights are a fairly conspicuous affair. Eye-catching, one could say. It would seem that people noticed a dragon, but not necessarily the cargo. Still, word spread quickly that a dragon was in town. Albedo and Razor. Is that so? For some reason, I remember that our initial landing zone was the island over there with the higher mountains. Only at your insistence did we change course and land here. Sure. For now, it's impossible to locate Razor. As for Albedo, he went that way. They were all signed Dodo King. There is an Abyss Order stronghold among the deserted islands. Make haste. I never trusted the letter to begin with. Having heard the contents of the letters, it became abundantly clear that something wasn't right. I don't believe this so-called Dodo King exists, but there is someone or something with a reason for luring us here together. If you say so. Razor did mention that his letter had a peculiar smell. Not so fast. We need to think this through. What will happen if we reinsert the missing component? There is a hilichurl presence here. Perhaps this machine's indiscriminate attack is actually supposed to be targeted at hilichurls to protect the inhabitants. I'd say it's about time we went and investigated instead of standing here making wild guesses. Where does she get the energy? Seems like some kind of energy shield. An oblong circle. Fan-shaped, I suppose. If I'm not mistaken, this is a very particular type of installation. Light is integral to its function. I've seen similar designs elsewhere. The light has to meet certain requirements or emit on a specific path. The mechanism is only activated if the light conditions are met. It looks like these 3 crystals might be the answer to this whole riddle. Or to put it another way, we're gonna be here all night. Hardly. I'm more interested in peace and quiet. Amuse yourselves however you see fit. I'm taking my leave. Walking along the shore by yourself at this time of night seems lonesome. Sure. I was skeptical of the letter from the beginning. But out of caution, I asked others about it. Sure enough, I wasn't the only recipient. This is clearly a premeditated act. The responsible party's objective has yet to be revealed, so I came here to investigate. Now that I'm here, you can relax. The scenery here is not bad. Walking on the shore at night almost makes you feel like you're on a vacation. Could this be a ploy to lower our guard? Me? My affairs are hardly worth discussion. Rather, I'm more concerned about your situation. How is it? Getting used to island life? If you need help, come find me anytime. And if you find any clues, contact me at once. Speaking of which, Klee just asked me to help her catch fish. Come with me, if you want to. Today? Oh, you mean that. Frivolous happenings aren't worth your attention. And as for Kaya, he seems to be in high spirits. Even after all these years, he still enjoys summer as much as he did as a kid. Good night. Get some rest. Perfect. I also want to see how strong the enemies on this island really are. So it was her all along. I might have known. Alice is the only one in all of Mondstadt that could have pulled this off. Well, her and that bard. Those letters were actually invitations. I guess that makes us the guests to the party. Which means that in her heart, we're all a bunch of children. I haven't been taken for a child in a long time.
Me? Nothing to do? Don't count on it. I heard you two were working as bartenders, so I thought I'd drop by to see how you're coming along. So, tell me, how do you like being a bartender? Just tell me your initial feelings. Excited, confused, anything. How does it feel to be a bartender? I see. Good. I'm happy for you. Now, could you make me a Gray Valley sunset then? I'll leave the size up to you. Great. Take your time. Not bad. Not bad at all. Sounds like I should thank the soil of Mondstadt. It just so happens that Gray Valley Sunset is the first drink I ever mixed. I was still quite young. My father laid out several ingredients and told me to experiment with them. No requirements and no instruction. In hindsight, he probably just wanted to test my creativity. In the end, I just made a glass of fruit punch, much like this one. My father was equally surprised. I didn't really put much thought into it. I just figured that it would taste sweet. Looking back on it, I was so young and naive. Oh? I never thought about it, I suppose. My father didn't say a word at the time. But thank you. By the way, there's something I'd like to give you. But I suppose it's better to wait until you have more experience with your bartender job. I have no doubt that you'll do very well. Very well. Then I look forward to seeing your good work. See you around. You're here. You move fast. What are you agonizing over? There's no need to be nervous. And I can see from the looks on your faces that they've grabbed your interest. These letters deal with events that are past and gone. I only held on to them in case any of the information they contain proves useful later down the line. I just dug them out to confirm a few details. I've been following some rather unique developments recently. You were involved in the events in question anyway. You can read them if you want to. It's not a bad thing to be curious. Very perceptive. Yes, I did make a trip to the Storm Bear Mountains. I'll fill you in later. Is there a problem? Old outfit? You've seen it before? Huh. I'm surprised it made such an impression. The same reason as ever. Just stopping another Abyss Order plot. They launched an offensive on several fronts at once. Unfortunately for them, they were still no match for me. We were fighting in an area on Falcon Coast, and everything was recorded by the unusually active ley lines. They must have become unstable again recently, causing them to let out all kinds of information from that time. Hence why you saw what you saw. For starters, you only need to deal with the monsters and the ley line deposit will stay dormant, as long as it isn't disturbed again. On the other hand, if I'd done nothing at all, the Knights of Favonius would have taken over straight away. Knowing how they work, they'd be sure to send a large contingent to guard the site. Depends. Most of the Knights are away on expeditions, so they don't have a lot of people to spare. If the ley line anomaly was just a diversion tactic, the Abyss Order could have been poised to attack somewhere else entirely, while the Knights were scrambling to send what limited forces they have to Falcon Coast. But anyway, I have no interest in talking to the Knights of Favonius. I prefer to get to the bottom of things myself rather than waste time negotiating with them. And it was easy enough for me to find out the Abyss Order's plans. Take a few Abyss mages hostage and they soon start talking. As for the Knights of Favonius, I've sent someone to enlist their cooperation where it's needed. It's their job to handle situations like this. They ought to be present when things come to a head. I don't like working closely with the Knights of Favonius because of our differences in philosophy, but that doesn't mean we can't watch each other's backs when it counts. The best way to deal with any threat is to utilize all the force at your disposal. Anyway, thank you for your help. Adeline brought me up to speed with everything. In return, I have a gift for your trouble. This is my personal favorite grape juice, made of the highest quality grapes. I happen to have an unopened batch, so I brought you a bottle to try. I didn't know you were such fans of grape juice. Next time you want some, don't bother waiting for the discount. Just go down to the cellar and help yourselves. It's on the house. If you're free tonight, you're welcome to stay for dinner. Adeline is already making it. There are, however, a few things I need to take care of before dinner time. Yes, passiveness is not my style. Though I had my suspicions at the start, everything I've come across so far in my investigation suggests that the Abyss Order was not behind this. Since this arose from natural causes, it's time to wrap things up. Well said. In that case, let's get going. There, it's done. The ley line deposit will disappear before long. Sidekicks. It's been a long time since I last worked with others. It's not so bad. If the opportunity arises, let's team up again in the future. Oh, I was just wondering who'd be coming all the way out here during the Vine Laser Fest. So, it's you two. And you, too. Please get to the point. And the Knights of Favonius's woes have what, exactly, to do with me? Give that silver tongue of yours a rest. You might need it to maintain public order at the festival. Duly noted on the financial issues you raised. I'll have Elzer follow up with Hertha in more detail. And I just so happen to have a batch of wine that I can offer as a token of appreciation to everyone that has been working so hard for the festival. Shall I address it to you personally? You're better informed than I thought. In that case, I will leave this with Adeland and keep everything anonymous. Are you two here regarding the Vine Laser Fest too? It's okay. I understand. We have a spare barrel in the winery. It's a little old, but it's been specially treated for durability. You could leave it next to a flaming flower all day and there wouldn't be a scratch. I think that one should satisfy your needs. No need. I'll have someone deliver it to the festival market. Just collect it from the Angel's Share stand. You're more than welcome. Helping each other is what friends do. Oh, it's nearly dinner time. Would you care to stay for a meal? Well then, what happened to your swagger? Lost for words? Surely you wouldn't dream of disappointing Adeland. Glad you liked it. You're welcome to join again anytime. Indeed. Goodbye. Family, huh? Don't mind me. You should probably head back and get some rest. I'm not the most familiar with Razor, but you can contact me if you ever need help. So, what do you think of the Vine Laser Fest? Have you enjoyed yourself? Well, what would you like to know? I can sympathize with the anguish of being away from family. Certainly a tragic situation. But tragedy can also drive personal growth. And perhaps learning how to face it head-on is part of growing up. Part of becoming an adult. Having the support of some good friends will certainly make that journey easier. When I unsealed the wine, it seemed that the words of my late father were sealed inside. I wonder what he would think if he were to see me now. Somehow I doubt he'd share the same view as he did back then. If you say so. To the people of Mondstadt, winemaking is a way of working through emotions and remembering our history. We're only able to make such high-quality wines these days thanks to the peace we enjoy. War is a thing of the distant past. Even though you might not see me reveling with the crowds, I am grateful for this. As much as anyone. Say, have you tried our latest product, Fruits of the Festival? If you have any thoughts on how it could be improved, I'm all ears. Sure, we'll talk when you're free. If you're not feeling well, then let me go this time. What are you doing here today? And I see you've brought a +1. Is that it? Make yourselves comfortable then. Sounds like you're in a hurry to reach your goal. Been plotting this raid for a long time? Quite the story. You used that one last year. Got anything else? Thanks. Put it on the table. You want to comment? Okay then. This thing is very in line with your unique aesthetic tastes. Much like that vase over there. Elzer, fetch a bottle of this year's newest batch from the warehouse, or else someone will keep blathering on with endless excuses. Take some time off, Elzer. Don't put it off any longer. I'll handle the guild matters. It's important to take care of your health. You have to take it seriously. And, cavalry captain, you would do well to remember that brevity is the soul of wit. Normally I'd accompany you, but unfortunately I still have some pressing matters to take care of. My apologies and regards to both of you. Where's Kaya? Gone already? Right now, just the usual day-to-day winery business. But I'll be attending a meeting in Elzer's place shortly. The meeting concerns research and development of new beverages, and involves collaboration between several different wineries. It makes more sense for me to attend anyway. Kaya can answer any questions you might have while I'm not here. He's quite familiar with the winery.
Hello, everyone. Elzer told me the Knights launched a new commercial endeavor that turned out to be quite the hit. I think he was a bit surprised by the level of success, so he told me to come check it out. But seeing as you two are the ones in charge, I'm really not surprised at all. The Knights definitely chose the most reliable people for the job. No need to sound so surprised. The winery keeps us all very busy. Elzer only takes the time to brief me with this sort of intel if he thinks we are faced with a real threat. In such a short amount of time, you've been able to establish complete production and supply lines, and even receive orders from all around Tevat. If you were in the wine business, you'd already be one of our biggest rivals. A competition with the Traveler. That's not a bad suggestion. You're extremely knowledgeable and well-traveled. If we were to become competitors, I'm sure you'd throw many a challenge my way. Probably even some I've never faced before. But I was really just using the wine industry as an example to emphasize your success. Our two industries aren't exactly fighting for the same market space. Actually, the success of your potion shop is good for the winery's business. That's exactly right. Your potions allow people to work more efficiently. As they get more popular, people will be able to complete their work faster. The more free time people have, the bigger the market there is for a commodity like mine. I do have quite the interest in the effects of alchemical potions. Well, since you offered, please make a potion that can reduce the anxieties of the user while also improving their attention to detail. Well, I mentioned before that people with ample free time are an important consumer base for my industry, but actually, the same is true for people who are incredibly busy and overwhelmed with work. After a period of high stress, like a busy workday, it can take a while for people to fully decompress. It's also common for that type of stress to leave people so exhausted that all they can do is spend the rest of the day in a daze. That level of stress and exhaustion makes it hard for people to derive pleasure from things they usually enjoy, like relishing the flavor of their favorite food and drink. Exactly. Wine is meant to be savored. Drinking it without being able to appreciate its subtle notes and characteristics is a loss not just for the winemaker, but for the consumer as well. If we can increase the alertness of those too exhausted to perceive the subtle notes, but decrease the restlessness of those too agitated to raise their glass, then we can be sure to reach a point of balance where all can enjoy their wine to the fullest extent. How's the potion coming? Have you finished? Not to worry. I know you're a trustworthy partner. With such individuals, I can be patient for as long as you need. Don't worry about it. I know I'm asking quite a lot from you two. You must be busy with your other orders as well. When you've got that much on your plate, it's easy to slip up here and there. Just take it one step at a time, and you're sure to figure it out. I believe in you. Take as much time as you need, okay? I'm going to head back to the winery for now. Hello, traveler. Paimon. Have you made any progress with the potion I requested? Oh, I thought you might need more time, but it looks like you've already found the solution. Nice job. Wow, the effect is even more apparent than I imagined. Your many talents just keep on surprising me. On behalf of Dawn Winery, I would like to make a bulk purchase order for this potion. Oh, and don't worry about the delivery side of things. Elzer will send someone to pick up the potions once they're ready. My plan is to enlist the help of artisans to infuse candles and fragrances with the effects of this potion. Those products will serve as complimentary gifts for customers to enjoy during wine tasting. Well, there's still work to be done, so I should probably head out. It'll take some time before we know exactly what the commercial impact of this combination will be. In any case, it's been a pleasure working with you. Here's hoping our two businesses will have a long and successful partnership. I hope those orders will keep on rolling in, for both our sakes. Oh, and if you have some time, you should stop by Angel's Share to see your masterpiece in action.